Well, hello, fellow pen enthusiasts. Just back from the great Los Angeles Pen Show 2020 yesterday, and got a number of great pens there. A lot of nice dealers there. Wanted to review the one of my favorite pens I got, which is the Eversharp Skyline, and this is a fantastic pen. It was in great shape. It had already been restored with a new rubber sack in it, so it's ready to go. The Skyline, as you can see, is a fantastic Art Deco design. This pen was manufactured between 1941 and 1948, so it's just a very, very iconic pen of the 1940s. It was designed actually by industrial designer Henry Dreyfuss. And Henry Dreyfuss is known for designing, most famously, probably the 20th Century Limited train. He designed the one of the Hoover vacuum cleaners in 1936. It's an Art Deco design. He did several telephones. Probably the best well-known was the Western Electric 302, which was first produced, I believe, 1938. And so he also did the Big Ben alarm clock, the 1949 Big Ben. Some of you may also be familiar with that. So anyway, this was his contribution to the fountain pen world. And as you can see, it's just a fantastic, streamlined Art Deco design. When it first came out, it was called the Skyliner, in reference to the planes of the day, the passenger planes. But they changed the name to Skyline shortly after it came out, more in reference to the skyscraper, the Art Deco buildings of the 1930s and 40s. You can see the clip on this goes all the way back around, and the top is grooved. And actually, the clip, not only is the styling great, but the design is great because this barrel of the cap actually comes off, and all these pieces come off in segments. If you ever need to repair or clean it, it's very well done. I know one of the criticisms of the Eversharp Skyline is that the material that the barrels are made from is brittle. And, that's true with a lot of old fountain pens, and I have found these to be brittle. I've actually broken one myself. But I wanted to review this. This has the original nib on it. It says Eversharp across the top. And I don't know if you can get a good view on that. But this is a lever fill. And since I'm a relatively new fountain pen collector, I've been using them for years, but I've only recently started repairing them. I wanted to start with ones that I can repair easily, and lever fills are generally the easiest to repair. So you can see after one fill, the amount of ink that'll come out in this, that's a fair amount of ink. So we'll give it another fill here. See if we can get a good shot on that. Yeah, that's holding an appropriate amount of ink. And we'll give it a try. One of the things, for some reason, starting in the 1920s, I think with the Parker Duofold, the nibs on a lot of fountain pens started getting stiffer and stiffer. I think actually people were wanting to get away from the stylized writing of the 19th century, with the very flexible nibs, and start getting something that looked more modern. And of course, the Duofold, the name, as the name implies, was intended to be able to write through carbon paper. So a lot of the nibs got stiffer, but this one happens to be a fairly flexible nib, as you can see. I think this is probably what we would consider a semi-flex. But it writes smooth, no problems at all. And again, I think stylistically, it's one of the most modern looking streamlined pens probably ever made. Now, you're going to have the Europeans arguing that it was the Omas, with their Art Deco styling of pens. I completely disagree with that. European Art Deco being more angular and faceted as opposed to the American modern Art Deco, which was very streamlined. I think this one takes the cake every time. So there it is, my review. This is 100% on this pen. I highly recommend it. I've used lots of different fountain pens, and against old pens and modern fountain pens, this is one of the best. And you're going to get a great deal, of course, if you buy a vintage pen over a high-quality modern pen. So there it is, the Eversharp Skyline. These actually came in a number of different color varieties, blue, black, I believe. They came in all metallic, and they came in all plastic, with the cap matching the barrel. They had striated versions of it. But this one, to me, is the most classic, and that's the one I picked. So, all right, thanks for watching, and if anyone likes this video, I'll review some old fountain pens another time. Have a good one.